Hello, 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 and welcome once again to a Tune In Tuesday episode of the Realign for Success live stream. I am so excited to be back in lovely Los Angeles where it's sunny. The rain has subsided for who knows, maybe an hour or two, and we are doing great because we are here to talk about how to set yourself up for success in 2023. I want to say Happy New Year. I really appreciate all of you and all of your support of everything that I do. And I'm here to support everything you do because that's what Synergy is about, supporting each other. And one of the women that has been so supportive of not just my business, but my visions and an inspiration and a mentor to me is here tonight. And she is so amazing. Some of you may already know her. Some of you are going to get to know her. And the reason that she's here today is because success leaves loose. And she is going to share her success strategies. And so I'm going to bring her on and introduce her without any further notice. Welcome, Veronica.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, Maria Elena and Stacy. So grateful that everybody's here. And if you come in after start, make sure you put a shout out in the stream. Just put hello and then we'll give you a shout out. I want to introduce Veronica Franco. She is the Vice President of Sales for Provident Title Company. She has been in the title industry. You're never going to believe it when you see her beautiful, gorgeous face for 27 years. I'm like, they can't even be possible when you look like you're 33. It's just like, how does that happen? You started in the playpen. When I was 1 year old, I started this career. She's married to Mark Franco, and they are the proud parents of an 18-year-old. Is he still 18? Mark J. Franco went off to college in Indiana. We're so proud of him.
Hey, yes, very proud.
In 1995, Veronica was hired as a customer service representative for a national worldwide title company. And after working 6 months, only 6 months in customer service, learning the mechanisms of closing transactions and serving clients over the phone, an opportunity knocked on her door. And she was asked to assist one of the top sales representatives. One trained out on the field, Veronica was assigned a territory and began building her clientele. Veronica joined Provident Title Company 14 years ago and is now proud to be a part of this amazing company. Veronica has closed international title transactions in Mexico because being bilingual is an advantage. See. Claro que sí, ¿verdad? Okay. Divino, my dog, is making me bilingual because he prefers Spanish. So Veronica has served in leadership roles in BNI as top producers in the following positions: secretary, treasurer, membership committee, mentor, and education coordinator, basically everything. And Veronica has also served on the board for the Whittier Uptown Association. And I am so grateful because Veronica and I have been synergistically partnering together, doing how many vision board play shops do you think we've done all together?
I can't keep count. We've done a lot.
A lot, maybe 8 or 10 or 12 or more. And one of the things that I always love is that when Veronica comes, she puts all of her heart and soul into it, right? You're not just like coming here, oh, I'm just going to do this, and you're already very successful, but there's always going to that next level. We never stop having visions and we never start going for our dreams. But definitely in your experience of doing so many of these workshops and being so successful in your career, I know you've gathered a lot of lessons, and I'd love to hear some of the lessons that you've gotten and the power of our words and our energy to be able to manifest our goals with more ease and grace.
Well, absolutely, Deborah. When we create our vision boards, and I know I shared this with you last year, maybe halfway through the year, is the words mean a lot. They're very powerful because whatever you send out to the universe is going to bring to you. So my word for last year was tenacious, because you're unstoppable and you're a warrior. And so that's what I asked the universe, but not thinking in that sense. I was thinking more of a success part of it. Well, there was situations in life that happened. And I had COVID, and that was okay because everybody had it. And also I was in a car accident, and the next day I was still at an event, and that was part of being a warrior, right? You're unstoppable. And then there was another situation that happened where I was like, wait a minute, this is not right. There's too many things coming my way, and it's tiring. So that's when I reached out to you, and you're like, what's your word? And I told you, like, change it, change your word. And I said, can we do that? Can we change your word on our vision board halfway through the year? Absolutely. Kind of like you pivot, right? And so I changed it, and I changed it to love. And sure enough, things started to just changing, and it was more of a loving end of the year, and even like self-care. I had put on my vision board self-care. Well, guess what? I was forced to stay home and self-care because of COVID, and then I had the accident, and it was like, be careful what you put on there. So this year,
what you asked for.
yeah, so this year I'm just like, okay, I'm putting health, wealth, words that really fulfillment. So when you create your vision board, just be very careful as to what the words that you ask the universe what you want, because it will be sent your way.
And also, the universe doesn't joke around. Like sometimes people will say something and they'll be like, oh, I'm just joking. Or they'll say, oh, I'm so fat, or I'm so ugly, or I'm so broke, or like, oh, I'm just kidding. My mom, who's a big mindset proponent, always got me into all these law of attraction books since I was like a little girl, would say the universe, God does not joke around. When you're speaking your word, it is literally a prayer, right? That's why I
Yes.
love to pray out loud, because I feel there's so much power and energy, because I can feel the answered prayer before I even say it, right? It's just the vibration of it, the energy of it. And there's even a book, a scientific book called The Divine Matrix by Dr. Greg Braden, that talks about the word, how each word has vibration. And that's why people that they did studies where people that were in the hospital that had prayer groups praying for them recovered faster than people that didn't. Would you be sharing what your word was? I'm sure people want to know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
Would you be comfortable sharing what your word was so people can understand when before you changed it?
Oh yeah, I did say it earlier. It's tenacious.
Right. And the energy of tenacious was almost like what pops up is like the energy of like a hurricane, right? Like a hurricane tenacious, or a whirlwind, or something that's really spinning, and which is good, but there's also that groundedness, that your new word gave you, that groundedness, so you could achieve your goals, but it doesn't have to be in a self-destructive way, right?
Exactly. It's in a loving way, loving myself, pouring out love to others. But yeah, it was a lesson learned. And I always say, out of life, God, thank you for the lessons, because now we know what we need to do differently, and we learn from them. So, I learn, and that's why I wanted to share with you and with whomever's listening to us, is that when you do work on your vision board, or even when you're, like you say, when you're getting ready and you look in the mirror and you say, oh my God, I'm ugly. Like, why are you going to say that to yourself? You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, my God, I am so beautiful. I am so gorgeous. Because you start believing that. I'm fat.
Exactly.
No, I look great. I'm voluptuous. Well, real woman wear curves.
Right. And that self-talk is so important. So starting with the self-talk, but also because I know you're such a team player and you're always building your team as a wonderful leader, you can practice with your team speaking in the direction that you want to go. So not even where you are, but where you want to be. And I've been trying that in my personal relationship, where where instead of complaining about it, you don't like. Or I love it how mindful you are when you're driving. Or I love it how you're just totally present with me, right? Instead of saying what we don't like, we say what we do like. So leading your team to success by speaking it into existence. I love how everyone is working so well together. I love how everyone is encouraging each other. I love how everyone is just, really synergistically giving each other resources when they need, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the vision board is not just a once in a lifetime event. It's a way of life, right? The
Correct.
practicing mindful living, right? Where the words you say, the feelings you feel, the actions you take are in alignment, right?
Absolutely correct. Yeah. And you know what, Deborah, even, I'll talk about how you were talking about just how about when even in a relationship, right, like with my husband, we're going to be celebrating 20 years this year, and you
Wow.
really have to pick your battles, because life is so short. And even if he leaves the light on in another room, it's okay, I'll go and turn it off. Or I guess because I'm talking about your home, like you also have to lead in your home and be an example. And I get just too crazy on the little things. um it's just, I can tell you, we hardly ever fight.
So wonderful. You always look so happy and you guys are adorable. That is so inspiring. See, that's what I'm telling you all about Veronica, why I wanted to have her on there because, one of the things that when you realize that word, tenacious, wasn't your word and you realigned and got your right word, you had one of the best years, right? I mean, you had a great, great, great year, the whole pandemic. You and I were
Oh my
both on
God, yes.
fire.
Yes,
Yeah.
the pandemic, we talked about it on the last episode we did. It was one of the best ones. And I'm sure for a lot of people in my industry, because, the rates were low,
Yeah.
but it did take a toll on us. Financially was amazing. Right now, our business is a little slower. I'm in the
Right.
real estate industry, but you know what? I welcome the slow time. I
Right.
welcome it. And it is just so awesome that now I have the time to go take my doggy for a walk. And I'm still productive. I'm busy. I keep myself busy. But I'm not stressed out. Like I hear a lot of
Right.
people are like, oh my God, the recession, blah, blah. You know what? I don't worry about that. I leave it
Right.
in God's hands. Everything works out because you have to learn from your previous lessons. 2007 when the market crashed, I learned from that. It's like, put your money away or invest it in the right places, and we're good. I'm not feeling anything differently, to be quite honest with you. I actually enjoy this kind of slower time where, I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do before.
Because a lot of us got to be slower during the pandemic. You real estate people, you were busy. So you deserve to have a little bit of a break now because we all had during the, well, I
But
was
you
able
were
to.
unstoppable too, Deborah. You were
Yeah,
on Zoom back to back, back to
yeah,
back.
much too. Not me as much, but yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I love the awareness that everything what goes up comes down. It's like the ocean. It's like the law of circulation. It's nothing is forever. Everything is temporary. The time all the abundance and the times where it's going out to sea and then it comes back. We just have to trust, and that's really really part of the practice of success, and it's the inner work that gets you to have that trust that everything's always working out for me. The universe has my back. God has my back, whatever you want to say about that. And I know you have specific morning practices that you do that create a solid foundation for you each and every day you start over. Can you share those practices so people can learn from you?
Sure, I'd love to. Well, one of my favorite things in the morning is, of course, is to wake up and breathe and have my cup of coffee. And when I have my cup of coffee, I really reflect on just things that happened maybe the day before. and I go into my space of gratitude. I look around my house and I'm just like, thank you, Lord, for giving me my home, for having this beautiful view, right? So that's my time with myself. And then I go into prayer. I have a morning ritual where I pray to God and are grateful. And then I go into my vision board, which is right in back of me, and I pray over it. I pray that all of those visions become a reality. And then if they have become a reality, I am grateful. I am grateful of whatever it is. Like my son got into this amazing college, or we went to Europe last year, took all my family. So, it's like, like you say, it's a lifestyle. And then I go into just having a relationship with God, talking to him, and just, kind of just being grateful and praying for those that have gone, like, people that have passed away. And just be in a space of just gratitude and continue to just be happy for what we have. Um, I, I don't ask for anything more, just the same thing. And I welcome any blessings. I always say, thank you for my blessings. I am ready to I'm ready to learn from the lessons to do better things. And I welcome the abundance. But, morning routines are super important because that sets your day, right? Like you're kind of center yourself. And because I am in a business where I am of service to others, I want to make sure that my heart is full and I'm joyful, because there's going to be situations that happen on transactions, or things might not go right. And so you really have to have that positive attitude and just your heart full of love and joy.
I love it. So you're filling literally your soulful cup so that
Yes.
you're overflowing all through the day, because if you
Mhm.
don't do that, then you're kind of going from either empty, or if there depends on how much gas you put in your tank, I guess.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. It's
if
kind of
your tank is empty, then you're going to be going from reserves, and you're going to be more irritable or less positive, right?
right, right.
And how long do you spend?
Oh my goodness. I would say I spent a good maybe 45 minutes. 45 minutes. And then I hit the gym. Because that's also my time. Like I said, throughout the day, my time is for others, right? I'm
Right.
sure like you, Deborah. So yeah, just having exercise makes me happy. It gives me energy. And so, once I'm done with my prayer and just being grateful, I go to the gym for about 45 minutes and feel great. Come back and I'm just like, okay, I can take on the world.
And I love your commitment, because I think I was on Eastern time and I invited you to something early in the morning. I'm at the gym and I need to be committed. And that's so important, Veronica. That inspired me so much, because if we are not committed to our own self, how can we be committed and in integrity to others? So the foundation of all relationships is integrity. And the foundation of the word integrity is integral, which means whole. And if we want to be whole and aligned, we can't break our promises with ourselves, right? Whatever your New Year's resolutions or goals or intentions are, when we don't show up for ourselves, how can we expect ourselves to show up for others? We are the most important people we need to show up for, and to tune in and fill up our cup so that there's stuff to give for other people. I love that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I know that I'm the number one person that's going to care about myself.
Right.
I mean, you have others, of course, that love you, like my mother, But if I don't take care of Veronica, and if I don't do good things for myself, like whatever makes me happy, and set the time, because I think that's another thing. We get so busy as, working women, and I have a child, well, no longer a child, but even when he was younger, like I would, you know what, give me my time, because that's going to make me a better mother. My husband, give me some time. Let me have, having girlfriends is big for me. I don't have any sisters. And so having my girl time, going out to lunch or dinner or brunch is big for me, because you can relate on issues, and you're not alone. You don't feel alone on some things that you might be going through. Even when I just had my son, and you go through postpartum, and you talk to other women, it's like, hey, I'm going through this too. So it's a support group. So I always say it's so important to take care of yourself, because nobody's gonna love you the way that you should love yourself.
I love it. And that just spreads to everything. You're a great leader, you're a great team member, you're a great relationship partner. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you and I both love people. We're people.
Yes.
And just we were talking about how networking and the art of nurturing relationships, both personal with girlfriends or guy friends, and also in business, is a skill. And it's something that you're so great at. And I just was hoping you could give some of your strategies for those people that want to improve in that skill.
Well, I was always very intimidated to go to events by myself. And I did join an organization, which was BNI, and it really taught me how to network. Because in my business, I need to meet people. The more people you meet, the more your database is going to grow. But, they teach you so much. But then again, it's also what you put into it is what you get out of it. So, I started going to events. People would invite me, and I would no longer make excuses, because before I used to make excuses like, no, I can't, because, I got to take care of my son, or my son has this event. And I realized now, you know what, I really was making excuses, because I had the support. My husband could have stayed with him, but it wasn't my time. So yeah, once I started going to the networking events and getting comfortable, and getting all kinds of business cards. And it is scary when you have to call them and you're asking for the appointment. And out of, like, let's say you get 100 business cards, maybe like 2 will respond to you and maybe have the appointment. But, once that happens, you really have to participate and make the effort to, meet up for lunch, or just kind of continue that relationship. If it clicks, if it's a good dynamic, a good working dynamic, I would never go and think like, okay, I'm going to make money off of this person. Like, this is like it was more like, let's see how our energies, kind of come together.
Right.
And I think when you come from a place of authenticity, that's what happens. It just happens very natural. But now moving forward, now that I've learned the networking and being comfortable in that setting, going by myself, when you start those relationships, you really have to nurture them. It can't just be like, okay, I met with you today and that's it. You have to be consistent. It's not about what am I going to get from you, it's how can I help you? How can I help your business? How can I connect you?
Right.
And that's important, because people see through you. But as far as just, I have people that are looking for me right now because of the vision board events that you and I have put together. They're like, are you going to have it this year? Are you going to have it this? I mean, last year when we had it, Deborah, I had a waiting list, and I could only have so many people because of the whole pandemic. Right.
Oh,
So,
and how many people did we have? Like 80?
Yeah, we had about 80. And I mean, and I had to turn people away because, it was just already like over capacity. but even this year, they're like, oh, do you have, so any event, I feel any event that I have that I put together, um, it's a good turnout because of what I've developed. And like
Right.
you say, it's a skill. It's not just, okay, let me meet with this person once. No, it's an ongoing relationship and getting to know them. And it's even gotten to the point now, I'll tell you that I'm even bringing in my husband. So if I have a client and they have a partner, and you know what, let's all go out to dinner. Let's all get to know
Oh,
each other.
that's nice.
Yeah. So now it's even growing in that sense, because now you're taking it to a different level. It's more personal.
I love it. And I think you're right. The key thing is authenticity. I
Hmm.
used to be like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like a networking aholic. I was like in 4 or 5 different groups. I was new and young in my 20s or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So, and
yeah.
there would be people that would take their business cards and like throw them at you. And you'd be like, whoa. Like you would never do business with someone that threw a card at you. I mean, you're not a transaction, you're a person. And so
Exactly.
like you said, if you go there to serve rather than to sell, and you truly are interested in the other person rather than trying to be interesting, look at me, then there could be a connection there. And like you said, not everyone is gonna, you're not gonna click with them. There's not gonna be that synergy. And if they're not, then connect with someone else. You don't have to have 100 people in the room's business cards. You really only need those 5 connections that you can support, or they can support you. And even if you give somebody business, never expect business back from them, because what I've learned is that sometimes it'll just come from another source, right? I've had people that I've given business to that have never given me business, and that's fine because it's just planting seeds, right? And the
Mhm.
circulation doesn't, that's the ego that wants it back from them. I gave to you, you give to me, right? But
Right.
from the universal perspective, it's just give and receive, the law of circulation, allow the flow.
Right. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I love the word flow. I didn't pick that word. I picked the word elevate. By the way, everyone in the chat, write down your word. I want to hear your word. Somebody gave their word in the chat. I thought that was such a great idea to put your word. Um,
Oh, okay. I can't see,
Oh,
but I
you
would
can't
love
see the
to.
chat? Yeah, so Cynthia Morales, I don't know if she's your friend. She said her word is create. Here, let me show it on the screen. Can
Love
you see it?
it.
She says
Okay.
her word is create.
Uh-huh.
Our friend Marion, Mama Cheesecake is here, and she said to say hi.
Hi.
Um, yeah, so I picked the word elevate because my intention is to elevate everything to the next level, and but I still like the word flow. So I say if it doesn't flow, I don't go. Just flow, I don't go, right? Yeah,
But also,
yes,
you know what, Deborah, talking about back to the whole networking stuff is it's not the quantity, it's the quality, right?
yes,
I mean, yeah, you can get all these business cards or you can meet all these people, but like you say, there'll be those individuals that you're going to connect with on a you're both on the same vibration, right? And out of one person, behind them, there's 100 people, right?
right.
So it's like, and I could tell you from my experience, I've met one person and they referred me to so many other people. Like
Mm,
that's just, so never underestimate that you have to go after big crowds, because there could be that one individual, those couple individuals that are going to be the connectors, that are going to be um, elevating you to that next level. So,
it's
and
true.
that's why you need to get to know them on a one-to-one, right? Like go to coffee and spend an hour of your time to get to know if this business relationship is going to go somewhere. It might
Mm,
not, and that's why you don't want to waste your time. But if it does, it could create a beautiful business relationship or a friendship.
right, exactly. It's kind of like dating. Not everybody you date you're going to marry, right?
Exactly.
So some people may be your friends, some people may be like your hiking buddy or whatever.
Hmm.
So it's just about connecting, and I think that's so important because I think the thing that we missed the most during the pandemic was that connection and that real life high five, give a hug, that kind of thing. And it's so nice to be back, to like, this I love working out. I do a beach workout and we're like high fiving everybody in between everything. I'm like, I love touching your hand. It's just like the feeling of connection and that we're not in this world alone. That's why I love synergy and creating synergistic partnerships, because when you realize that you're not alone, then you can really achieve anything, right?
Well,
It's just
back in the days, they would say that, realtors were going to not be in business because it was all going to be online. No, there's always going to be that personal, you want to be dealing with someone, right? Even as myself, as in title, they would say, oh, it's all going to be automated, computerized, and I'm still in business. Because we're in a people business. And you know what? I love social media. However, you still need to get out there and meet people and connect with them and have that personal relationship. People have 16,000 followers, but have you met them? Have you? So I'm still old fashioned that way. I mean, I still love to go out and to have coffee with my clients and to go out with my girlfriends and have lunch or dinner. Social media is good, I think, for advertising and for visibility purposes. But I think that that's never going to go away. Having that personal relationship with people and meeting them and, shaking their hand and, I don't know, embracing them and hugging them. I think that's always going to be around.
Yes, we are high touch kinesthetic people. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. And I really, what I love what you said at the beginning, and I think this would be a great place to close is, whatever people say about recession or talk of anything like, oh, there anything that's going on in the news, any challenge, we have the ability through the power of our mindset and reframing to focus our attention. How do you stay focused on the possibilities rather than on what everybody's talking about? On how do you stay, I know your morning practices obviously help that, but how do you redirect when people start talking about that?
I don't listen to the noise. Yeah. I just I don't listen to the noise. I mean, it's a fact, right? Whatever's going on in the world is going on. But I have to do what I have to do because I have a responsibility to my family to provide income. And if I'm going to be just sitting down and listening to people talking about a recession and how things have inflation, and I disengage. I disengage because it is a reality, but I'm not going to have it take over my life.
Right.
It's what we're living. And I have a friend of mine, I don't know if she's on, Janie, and it's so cute because we were talking about when gas, was up. And she goes, you know what I say when I'm putting gas? Thank you, God. Thank you, God, that I'm able to put gas. And I think that's the mindset we're going to have. It's like, thank God I go to Costco and I don't have to look at prices. Like I just put stuff in the shopping cart. Okay, whatever. Right. And that's a beautiful place to be in. But I've set myself up along with, my husband, because we learned from the last, part of the recession. We learned from that. And if you don't learn from it, then that's on you. But like I said, you learn from the lessons that come your way. And for us, it was positive because now we're in a good place. We trust the process.
Yes. And I love that you said that you learn from the lessons, because one of the things that we always do in the vision boards is we evaluate last year's challenges. And then we ask, what was the lesson we learned? Because once you gather the lesson, that lesson doesn't have to repeat. You don't have to learn that same lesson again. You've got it. You've gathered it. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Deborah.
Your wisdom. And how can people stay in touch with you or follow you online or connect with you at one of your events?
They can follow me on Instagram on I don't know if you can type it in, or it's yeah, it's at Title by Vero, and they can send me a DM. Right now, the events that we're going to be having is one in March. It's called the Empowerment Amiga Movement. It's for International Women's Month. So if any ladies want some information about that, just go ahead and send me a DM and I'll be happy to share. And I think next year we want to have a big vision board event, right, Deborah? Because it'll be my 50th.
Oh my God, exciting. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we'll regroup. And, I took a break this year and, but, I still went through your process. I love it. But, we're on for next year.
Yes, I'm so excited. And by the way, I have tons of events as well coming up. The best thing that you can do is go to my website, which is deborahderas.com. If you sign up, there is a free video on alignment and you'll be able to see the events. I'm doing a cool thing with Lean In Latinas. Have you heard of that group, Veronica? It's all these amazing. It's called Lean In Latinas. They're all these like Silicon Beach Latina professionals in San Francisco area. So I'm going to do like a goal setting workshop. And the cool thing now is I'm doing a lot of things, either virtual, hybrid, as well as in person. So it just expands my ability to serve. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. The lesson of learning Zoom and virtual presentation during the pandemic. It's a gift that keeps giving. So I'm really grateful for that. So you guys are totally invited to anything that I have. The vision board that we had on the 21st is sold out. However, if you're interested, just like Veronica, you can connect with me, just DM me, and I could do a vision board for your organization, for your office. You can just let me know. So I just want to remind everyone, no matter what like Veronica says, I love how you called it noise, because that's what it is. What do you do with noise? Mute it. So I want to invite everyone, just go like this. I'm teaching my dog puppy training, and we know we do signs and signals. Let's say mute. This is our signal to our ego that's not our amigo to turn off the noise of anything that is not in alignment with our highest good, that is not in alignment with our success, that is not in alignment with our goals, that is not in alignment with our visions, that is not in alignment with the power word that we've selected or chosen. Laser focus, just like Veronica. And that's all we're going to see. That's all we're going to do on our success. So thank you so much for inspiring us. You inspired me. Morning ritual, and then your gym, and then you're full and overflow and giving. And that's the way we can all be, because success leaves clues. So thank you so much. And remember, everyone, is possible. See you next week for Tune In Tuesday. Ciao, ciao.
Have a great 2023, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Jessica. Bye, Rosie. Bye, Barbara. Great to see you. Bye.